Close your eyes now and let your breath find its own rhythm. There is something your body knows that your mind has been too busy to remember. In this quiet moment, as the world outside grows distant, you can feel it stirring, a gentle knowing that lives beneath the surface of your everyday thoughts. Your nervous system has been holding tension like a tightly wound spring, hasn't it? All those days of pushing, striving, trying to make things happen through sheer will. But tonight, something different whispers through your cells. A recognition that you were never meant to force the river to flow. The ancient wisdom speaks of a field that exists beyond what your eyes can see, a vast, interconnected web where every thought, every emotion, every whispered intention creates ripples that travel faster than light. Scientists call it the quantum field, but your ancestors knew it simply as the space where all possibilities live, waiting. Feel your breath now, slow and steady. With each exhale, you release the old story that manifestation is about wrestling with reality. With each inhale, you welcome the truth that has been sleeping in your bones. You are already woven into the fabric of everything you seek. There was a time when you knew this instinctively. As a child, you didn't question whether your imagination could touch the world around you. You simply felt, dreamed, and trusted that the universe was conspicuous in its magic. But somewhere along the way, you learned to doubt this connection, to dismiss the quiet voice that whispered of deeper currents moving beneath the surface of things. Your subconscious mind has been protecting you from this remembering, hasn't it? It created walls around your heart, convinced that wanting too much would lead to disappointment. It taught you to settle, to play small, to forget that you were born from the same stardust that creates galaxies. But tonight, in this liminal space between waking and sleeping, those walls begin to soften. Your nervous system recognizes safety in this darkness, in this gentle surrender to what wants to emerge. The observer effect that quantum physicists describe, where the simple act of observing changes. The reality being observed lives in your awareness right now. You are not separate from the field of infinite possibility. You are the field, expressing itself through the unique constellation of your being. Every cell in your body vibrates with the same frequency that spins planets and births stars. This is not metaphor. This is the deepest truth of your existence. Feel how your body begins to relax as this knowing settles into your bones. The tension you've been carrying, the effort you've been expending, the struggle you've been engaging, all of it unnecessary. Like a river that has been trying to flow uphill, you can finally allow yourself to remember the natural direction of your current. The quantum shift you seek has already begun. It started the moment you chose to listen to the whisper instead of the storm. It deepened when you allowed your breath to slow, when you gave yourself permission to soften into this moment of not knowing. Your mind might want to understand exactly how this works, might want to map the mechanics of manifestation like a blueprint, but your body already knows. It remembers the frequency of trust, the resonance of alignment, the gentle magnetism that draws experiences toward you not through force, but through coherence. There is a part of you that has never stopped believing in magic. Even when life taught you to armor your heart, even when disappointment whispered that hoping was dangerous, this part of you continued to pulse with the rhythm of possibility. It lives in your dreams, in the space between your thoughts, in the pause between your heartbeats. Tonight, you give this part of you permission to expand. You allow it to remember that you are not a separate being trying to manipulate a hostile universe. You are the universe, knowing itself through the experience of being you. The desires that move through you are not selfish wants. They are the cosmos expressing its infinite creativity through the unique prism of your consciousness. Feel the quantum entanglement that connects you to everything you love, everything. You long for everything that seeks you in return. Distance is an illusion. Time is a construct. In the quantum realm, where all possibilities exist simultaneously, you are already united with what your heart calls home. Your breath grows deeper now, carrying you toward sleep on waves of profound trust. The ancient knowing spreads through your body like warm honey, dissolving the places where you forgot your own power. You are remembering, cell by cell, that manifestation was never about becoming someone else. It was about becoming more fully yourself. The frequency of your deepest truth is calibrating now, aligning with the cosmic currents that have been waiting for your permission to flow. You don't need to push or prove or perform. You only need to be present to the miracle of your own existence, to the quiet revolution happening in the spaces between your thoughts as sleep begins to claim you. One gentle question floats through your awareness. What if everything you've been seeking has been seeking you with equal intensity, waiting for you to remember that you are worthy of receiving, not because of what you do, but because of who you are? Let this question dissolve into the darkness now, planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Tomorrow, you will wake with something new stirring in your cells, a remembrance of the quantum truth that you are both the observer and the observed, the dreamer and the dream, the frequency and the song it sings into existence. Close your eyes and place your hand gently over your heart. Feel that steady rhythm beneath your palm, not just the mechanical beating of muscle and blood, but something far more profound. Your heart is speaking in a language older than words, pulsing with electromagnetic waves that ripple outward like stones dropped into still water. With each beat, your heart generates an energy field 60 times more powerful than your brain's electrical activity. Imagine that field now, extending beyond your chest, beyond your body, touching the invisible fabric of everything around you. This is your heart's true voice, not the emotional storms you've been taught to fear, but the steady beacon that navigates the quantum seas of possibility. Breathe slowly now, and feel how your heart's rhythm begins to synchronize with your breath. This is coherence, the moment when your heart and mind stop fighting each other and start dancing together. Scientists have measured this dance, watching as the chaotic patterns of stress dissolve into smooth, flowing waves of harmony. Your nervous system recognizes this coherence as safety, as home. In this state, something remarkable happens. Your heart begins to breathe, light, not the harsh glare of anxiety or the dim flicker of doubt, but a warm, steady radiance that illuminates the path forward. This light carries information, encoded in frequencies that speak directly to the quantum field surrounding you. Every pulse becomes a prayer, every beat a gentle request whispered into the listening universe. Think of a radio station, searching for the right frequency. When you find it, the static disappears and music flows clearly through the speakers. Your heart, in coherence, becomes perfectly tuned to receive the signals of your deepest desires. The quantum field responds not to your desperate wanting, but to this steady, luminous broadcasting from your electromagnetic center. You've spent so long believing that manifestation requires effort, force, or perfect thoughts. But your heart knows differently. It understands that creation happens through resonance, through the matching of internal frequency with external possibility. When your heart learns to breathe light, it creates a magnetic pull that draws experiences toward you like iron filings to a magnet. Feel how your chest expands with each inhale, making space for this inner radiance to grow. Your heart muscle, evolved over millions of years, carries more than just blood through its chambers. It carries the blueprint of who you're becoming, the template of your soul's deepest longings. Every contraction and release inscribes these patterns into the quantum field, creating ripples that travel faster than light itself. This is why heartbreak feels like a shattering of reality itself, because it is. When your heart closes, when fear constricts those electromagnetic flows, you literally dim your signal to the universe. The quantum field, ever responsive to the quality of your inner broadcast, mirrors back experiences that match your contracted state. Scarcity meets scarcity. Fear attracts fear. Disconnection breeds more isolation. But right now, in this moment of conscious breathing, you can choose differently. You can teach your heart to remember its natural luminosity. With each exhale, release the old patterns of protection and withdrawal. With each inhale, invite in the possibility of expansion, of trust, of coherent connection with the field of infinite potential. Your heart doesn't need to be perfect to breathe light. It simply needs to be open, willing, present. The quantum field responds to authenticity more than perfection, to genuine feeling more than forced positivity. When your heart speaks its truth, whether that truth is grief, joy, longing, or peace, the universe listens and responds with matching frequencies. Notice how your breathing naturally deepens as you focus on this inner light. Your parasympathetic nervous system, recognizing the safety of coherent heart rhythm, begins to release its grip on hypervigilance. The constant scanning for threats softens into receptive awareness. This is the neurological foundation of quantum manifestation, the fevered excitement of desperation, but the calm certainty of a heart that knows its own luminous power. In this state, you become a participant in the observer effect that quantum physicists describe. Your consciousness, anchored in heart coherence, literally influences which possibilities collapse from the quantum field into your lived experience, not through force or manipulation, but through the gentle, persistent broadcasting of your heart's electromagnetic signature. The light your heart breathes is not separate from you, it is you, in your most essential form. It's the part of you that existed before wounds taught you to contract, before disappointments convinced you to dim your signal. This light knows how to call home the experiences that match your soul's true frequency. As you continue to breathe, feel how this inner radiance begins to synchronize with something vast and loving beyond your individual boundaries. Your heart's electromagnetic field, unique as your fingerprint, finds its harmonic resonance with the greater field of consciousness that connects all things. This is quantum entanglement at its most intimate, the recognition that your heart's light is part of a greater luminosity that encompasses all of existence. Let your heart rest in this knowing. Let it breathe light without effort, without agenda, simply because this is its natural state. The quantum field is always listening, always responding, always ready to mirror back the frequency of your deepest truth. In this moment, you are not trying to manifest anything. You are simply allowing your heart to remember how to breathe, lightened in that remembering. All possibilities become available. Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten. Tonight, as you settle into the soft embrace of your pillow, feel the ancient intelligence that flows through your nervous system, a language older than words, deeper than thoughts, more honest than any story you've ever told yourself. This is the language of safety and threat, spoken in the rapid flutter of your heart or the slow, steady rhythm of your breath. Your nervous system has been writing your reality for years, translating every moment into either invitation or resistance, expansion or contraction. And right now, in this quiet space between waking and sleeping, you can finally hear what it's been trying to tell you, beneath your ribs. Your vagus nerve winds like a river through your body, carrying messages from your brainstem to your organs, whispering ancient truths about survival and connection. When this nerve is calm, your body becomes a tuning fork for abundance. When it's activated by old patterns of fear, it creates a frequency of scarcity that ripples through every cell. Every thought, every dream you dare to dream, your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a tiger in the jungle and a difficult conversation with your boss. It doesn't distinguish between the roar of an engine and the echo of your father's voice from 30 years ago. It simply responds to the frequency of the moment, writing your reality in the language of biochemistry and electrical impulses. Feel your breath now, soft and natural. Notice how it deepens when you're not trying to control it. This is your nervous system speaking its native language of safety. Each exhale is a small surrender, each inhale a quiet statement of trust. Your body knows that when you breathe this way, you're not in danger. You're in the space where quantum possibilities can unfold. The observer effect in quantum physics tells us that consciousness shapes reality through the act of observation. But what if the quality of your observation, or anxious, regulated, or dysregulated, determines not just what you see, but what becomes possible? Your nervous system is the lens through which you observe your world, and when that lens is clear and steady, reality itself becomes more fluid, more responsive to your deepest intentions. Think of a moment when you felt completely safe, completely at ease. Perhaps you were walking in nature, or held in the arms of someone you trusted, or simply sitting in perfect stillness watching the sunset. In that moment, your nervous system was speaking the language of regulation, of coherence. Your heart rate variability was optimal, your stress hormones were balanced, your entire being was in a state of quantum flow. This is the state where manifestation becomes effortless, not because you're forcing or striving, but because you're aligned with the natural intelligence that governs all creation. Your nervous system, in its regulated state, becomes a bridge between your conscious desires and the quantum field of infinite possibility. But for many of us, this language has been forgotten. We've been conditioned to live in states of chronic activation, our nervous systems constantly scanning for threats that may not even exist. We manifest from fear rather than flow, creating realities that mirror our internal state of dysregulation. Your body holds the memory of every moment you didn't feel safe to be yourself. Every time you learned to hide your true nature, to make yourself small, to apologize for your existence. These memories live in your tissues, creating patterns of contraction that limit what you believe is possible. They whisper in the language of not enough, too much, not safe, not worthy. Tonight, you can begin to translate these old messages. Feel the subtle tension in your shoulders. What is it trying to tell you? Notice the way your jaw tightens when you think about certain dreams. What fear is it protecting you from? Your body's wisdom is speaking. You need only listen. The quantum field responds to coherence, to the alignment between your thoughts, emotions, and nervous system state. When all three are in harmony, you become a clear signal in the vast ocean of possibility. But when your nervous system is dysregulated, broadcasting fear while your mind tries to think positive thoughts, you create what scientists call quantum decoherence, scattered, unclear signal that struggles to manifest anything coherent. Imagine your nervous system as a radio antenna. When it's aligned and regulated, it can tune into any frequency you choose. When it's dysregulated, it picks up static interference, the old stations of trauma and conditioning. The quantum events you seek to create require a clear signal, a coherent frequency, a nervous system that knows how to be present with whatever is unfolding. This is why presence is so powerful. Not the forced presence of spiritual bypassing, but the gentle presence of a nervous system that feels safe enough to be here now with whatever is. In this state, your body becomes a quantum antenna, naturally attuned to the frequencies of your deepest longings. Your nervous system learned its patterns in relationship with your parents, your teachers, your early environment. It learned what was safe and what was dangerous, what brought connection and what brought rejection. These patterns became the unconscious operating system through which you navigate the world, the invisible filter through which all your experiences are processed. But just as these patterns were learned, they can be unlearned. Your nervous system has a remarkable capacity for neuroplasticity, for rewiring itself based on new experiences of safety and regulation. Every moment you choose to pause, to breathe, to feel rather than flee, you're teaching your body a new language, the language of safety, the language of belonging, the language of enough. Feel your heart now, beating steadily in your chest. This is your nervous system's most basic rhythm, the drumbeat around which all other rhythms organize themselves. When your heart is coherent, when its rhythm is smooth and ordered, it sends signals throughout your body that all is well. This coherence ripples outward, affecting your thoughts, your emotions, your very relationship with reality. In states of heart coherence, time seems to slow down. You drop into what athletes call the zone, what mystics call the flow state. This is where quantum manifestation happens most naturally, where the observer effect becomes a dance rather than a struggle. Your regulated nervous system becomes a collaborator with the quantum field, co-creating reality from a place of trust rather than fear. Your body knows the difference between manifesting from fear and manifesting from flow. Fear-based manifestation feels urgent, grasping, exhausting. It creates temporary results that often carry hidden costs. Flow-based manifestation feels natural, effortless, sustainable. It creates outcomes that nourish not just you, but the entire web of relationships you're part of. As you drift towards sleep tonight, let your nervous system remember its natural language of safety. Let your breath slow and deepen. Let your heart find its coherent rhythm. Let your body remember what it feels like to be completely safe, completely held, completely free to be exactly who you are. This is your quantum frequency. This is the state from which all authentic manifestation flows, not from the desperate reaching of an activated nervous system, but from the calm knowing of a body that trusts itself, trusts life, trusts the intelligence that breathes you even when you're not paying attention. Your nervous system is listening. What will you teach it tonight? There is someone watching right now, not from the outside, but from the deepest chamber of your being. As you settle into this moment, your breath naturally beginning to slow, you can sense this presence, the quiet observer who has been with you through every heartbeat, every thought, every dream that has ever crossed the landscape of your mind. This observer is not your thoughts. It is not the voice that plans tomorrow or replays yesterday. It is the one who notices these things, the way a lighthouse notices ships passing in the night without ever leaving its foundation. Your thoughts arise like waves on an ocean, and this observer is the depths beneath vast, still unchanging dot in the quantum realm. Scientists have discovered something extraordinary. The very act of observation changes reality. When no one is watching, particles exist in what they call superposition, infinite possibilities, dancing together in a field of pure potential. But the moment consciousness turns its attention toward them, all those possibilities collapse into one single, experienced reality. The observer effect, they call it, and it lives within you now. As your body begins to release the day's tensions, feel how your awareness naturally draws inward. Your breathing becomes deeper, more rhythmic, and in this settling, you can sense the observer stirring. Not stirring with activity, but stirring with recognition, the way a person might stir when they finally remember their own name after a long sleep. This observer behind your eyes has been watching your life unfold like a gentle movie, never judging, never interfering, simply witnessing with infinite patience. It watched you as a child, fascinated by butterflies and clouds. It watched you learn to walk, to speak, to love. It watched you stumble and rise, break and heal, lose yourself and find yourself again and again. But here is what makes this observer quantum. It doesn't just watch your reality, participates in creating it. Every moment of your attention is an act of observation, and every act of observation is a moment of creation. The quantum field that surrounds you, that interpenetrates every cell of your body, responds not to your words or your wishes, but to the quality of your observation. When you observe with anxiety, with fear, with the trembling attention of someone who expects disaster, the field of infinite possibilities begins to collapse around those frequencies. When you observe with curiosity, with wonder, with the steady gaze of someone who trusts the mystery, entirely different realities begin to crystallize from the quantum foam of pure potential. Your nervous system knows this truth in its own language. When you observe your experience with harsh criticism, with the sharp edges of judgment, your body responds with tension, with the ancient patterns of fight or flight. But when you observe with the soft focus of acceptance, with the gentle attention of someone watching a sunset, your nervous system begins to remember its natural state of coherence. This is not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts or pretending everything is perfect. This is about recognizing the profound difference between the observer and the observed. You are not your anxiety, you are the one who observes anxiety arising. You are not your sadness. You are the one who witnesses sadness moving through you like weather through a vast sky. As you lie here now, your body growing heavier with each breath, you can practice this quantum art of observation. Notice how your chest rises and falls. Notice how your thoughts appear and disappear. Notice how sounds from the world outside seem to fade into the background as your attention turns inward. And in this noticing, feel how the observer within you begins to smile not with your mouth, but with the quiet satisfaction of consciousness recognizing itself. This observer has no agenda. It doesn't need you to be different, better, more successful, or more spiritual. It simply loves to watch the dance of existence unfold through your unique perspective. It is the part of you that remains calm in the center of every storm, not because it doesn't care, but because it sees the storm as part of a larger pattern, a greater becoming dot in quantum physics. They speak of entanglement, how particles that have once interacted remained connected across vast distances, each one instantly affected by changes in the other. Your observer is entangled with the observer in every other being. part of a vast network of consciousness that experiences itself through countless eyes, countless hearts, countless dreams. When you observe with love, with compassion, with the patient attention of someone who has all the time in the world, you send ripples through this quantum network. Your quality of observation becomes a gift to the collective field of consciousness, a tuning fork that helps other observers remember their own capacity for gentle witnessing. The traumas you carry, the patterns that seem to repeat in your life, the places where you feel stuck or broken, all of these are simply experiences moving through the field of your awareness. They are not you. They are weather patterns in the sky of your consciousness, and you are the sky itself, vast enough to hold any storm, patient enough to watch any cloud formation, spacious enough to contain all of it without being diminished. As sleep begins to call to you, feel how your observer settles deeper into its natural state. Your breathing slows, your heartbeat becomes a gentle rhythm, and the boundaries between observer and observed begin to dissolve. This is the quantum state of pure awareness, where the watcher and the watched merge into one seamless field of being. In this state, healing happens spontaneously, not because you are trying to heal, but because you are observing without resistance. The quantum field of your body, which is always seeking balance and wholeness, can finally reorganize itself according to its deepest patterns of harmony. Your nervous system, no longer braced against experience, can remember its natural rhythm of expansion and contraction, of giving and receiving, of being and becoming. Tomorrow, when you wake, you may notice that your observer has grown stronger, more present, more easily accessible. You may find yourself watching your thoughts with greater detachment, observing your emotions with more compassion, witnessing your life with the patient curiosity of someone who knows they are both the scientist and the experiment, the artist and the canvas, the dreamer and the dream. But for now, simply rest in this recognition. You are the observer who lives behind your eyes, the consciousness that watches all things arise and pass away. You are the quantum presence that collapses infinite possibilities into this one perfect moment of being. And in this watching, in this witnessing, in this gentle observation of all that is, you are already home. What if the greatest discovery waiting for you is not something new, but something ancient, the recognition that you have always been the observer and the observer has always been free? Breathe deeply now and let your body settle into this sacred space between day and night. There is something profound happening in the quiet chambers of your being, something your nervous system has been preparing you to understand. Tonight, you are ready to meet the parts of yourself that have been carrying ancient pain, not as enemies to be defeated, but as messengers carrying the seeds of your greatest transformation. Feel your body against the surface beneath you. Notice how it holds both tension and wisdom, how it has been faithfully recording every experience, every wound, every moment when love felt unsafe. Your nervous system has been your protector, creating patterns designed to keep you alive. Even when those patterns began to keep you small, there is a frequency signature embedded in your cells. Right now, resonance born from the moments when your tender heart learned to armor itself. Every time you were told you were too much or not enough, every time safety felt uncertain, every time love came with conditions, your body wrote these experiences in the language of survival. These trauma patterns became the unconscious soundtrack of your existence, playing on repeat beneath your conscious awareness. But here, in this gentle darkness, something miraculous is stirring. Your conscious awareness is beginning to recognize that these stored energies were never meant to define you, they were meant to refine you. Like carbon becoming diamond under pressure, your deepest wounds have been preparing you for a transformation that only you could create. The quantum field responds to frequency, and trauma creates a very specific vibration. It vibrates with the energy of unfinished stories, of pain that never found its voice, of love that was rejected before it could fully bloom. Your subconscious mind, in its infinite wisdom, has been attracting experiences that match these frequencies, not to punish you, but to offer you countless opportunities to heal what was never meant to remain broken. Feel your breath now, slow and steady. With each exhale, you release the old story that trauma makes you damaged. With each inhale, you welcome the truth that has been waiting in your bones. Your wounds are not weaknesses. They are the places where your light has been, learning to shine most brilliantly. There was a moment, perhaps many moments, when your young heart closed to protect itself. Maybe it was the sharp edge of a word that cut too deep, or the absence of arms that should have held you, or the weight of carrying burdens that were never yours to bear. In that moment of closing, your nervous system created a pattern, a protective frequency that said, never again. But your heart, in its infinite wisdom, never stopped hoping for what if. Even as your mind learned to expect disappointment, even as your body learned to brace for impact, somewhere deep inside, a part of you continued to believe that love was still possible, that safety could be found, that you were worthy of gentleness. This is the sacred paradox of trauma healing. The same nervous system that learned to protect you through disconnection can learn to heal you through reconnection. The quantum field that has been mirroring your pain back to you is the same field that eagerly awaits your permission to mirror your healing. Your body knows how to release what no longer serves, like a tree that sheds its leaves in autumn, trusting that new growth will come. Your nervous system is capable of releasing trauma patterns that have outlived their protective purpose. But it needs your conscious partnership, your gentle acknowledgement that these patterns served you well when you needed them, and your loving permission to let them go. Feel the quantum shift beginning now, as your awareness touches the places where old pain lives. You are not trying to fix or force or fight these energies. You are simply witnessing them with the same compassion you would offer a frightened child. In this witnessing, something profound occurs. The observer effect begins to transform the very nature of what you observe. Your trauma patterns were created in isolation, in moments when your nervous system felt utterly alone with its pain. But you are not alone now. You are held by the same field that holds the stars, supported by the same intelligence that knows how to heal every wound, witnessed by the same love that never stopped believing in your wholeness. As you breathe into this recognition, you can feel the cellular memory beginning to soften, the tight places in your body, the guarded chambers of your heart, the hypervigilant patterns of your mind, of them beginning to remember that safety is not something you have to create through control. Safety is something you can surrender into, something that arises naturally when you align with the frequency of your deepest truth. The quantum field is infinitely responsive to your inner state. When you carried trauma, it reflected trauma back to you. When you operate from scarcity, it mirrors scarcity. But when you begin to vibrate with the frequency of healing, when you choose to see yourself as whole rather than broken, the field responds with experiences that match this new resonance. This is not about positive thinking or spiritual bypassing. This is about the profound recognition that you are not your trauma. You are the consciousness that experienced trauma, the awareness that survived it, the resilience that transformed it into wisdom. You are the phoenix that was never destroyed by the fire. You were refined by it. Feel your nervous system beginning to recalibrate now. The old patterns of hypervigilance soften into alert presence. The protective walls around your heart become permeable membranes that can filter love in while keeping harm out. The frequency of fear transforms into the frequency of fierce self-compassion. Your body is remembering how to trust, again not the naive trust of someone who has never been hurt, but the hard-won trust of someone who has walked through the valley of shadows and emerged with their light intact. This is the trust that creates quantum entanglement with healing, with love, with experiences that honor the fullness of who you are becoming. The universe never stopped offering you opportunities to rewrite your story. Every trigger is an invitation to respond differently. Every activated pattern is a chance to choose a new frequency. Every moment of pain is a doorway to deeper compassion, both for yourself and for the collective human experience of suffering and healing. As sleep begins to embrace you, you can feel the transformation continuing in the depths of your being. Your DNA is receiving new information. Your neural pathways are creating new connections. Your energy field is broadcasting a new signature. You are not the same person who lay down tonight because you have remembered a fundamental truth. You are not here to be healed. You are here to heal. The quantum field responds to authenticity above all else. When you stop trying to be perfect and start being real, when you stop hiding your wounds and start honoring your resilience, when you stop apologizing for your sensitivity and start celebrating your depth, the universe rushes to meet you with experiences that match this new frequency of self-acceptance. Your breath grows deeper now, carrying you towards sleep on waves of profound integration. The parts of you that have been carrying pain are beginning to remember their original purpose, not to keep you stuck in the past, but to prepare you for a future where love is not something you have to earn, but something you simply are. Let this knowing settle into your cells now. Every wound you have survived has made you more capable of love, not less. Every trauma you have transformed has expanded your capacity for compassion, not diminished it. Every scar you carry is proof of your resilience, evidence of your unbreakable connection to the healing intelligence of the universe. As you drift towards sleep, one gentle question dissolves into the darkness. What if your greatest wounds were actually your greatest gifts, waiting to be unwrapped by your own loving awareness? Let your body sink deeper into this moment, feeling the weight of yourself held completely by what supports you. There's a frequency that exists between the desperate reaching of want and the heavy satisfaction of having a quiet, steady tone that most people never learn to recognize. This is the frequency of enough, and it hums through every cell of your being when you remember how to listen. Your breath naturally slows as you consider this. Somewhere in your chest, beneath the familiar patterns of longing and accumulation, lives a deeper knowing. Your subconscious mind has been trained by countless generations to equate scarcity with safety, to believe that constant vigilance and endless seeking will somehow protect you from the void. But this ancient programming, born from survival in a world that no longer exists, keeps you trapped in frequencies that create more of what you're trying to escape. Feel how your nervous system has learned to interpret abundance as danger. When things flow too easily, when life feels too good, some part of you automatically braces for the inevitable crash. This is the trauma pattern of your ancestors whispering through your DNA, the memory of famines and losses, of abundance that was suddenly stolen away. Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten, and it holds you in a state of perpetual preparation for scarcity. But right now, in this breathing moment, you can begin to attune to something different. Notice how the air enters your lungs. Without effort, how your heart beats without your conscious control. How your body maintains its temperature and heals its wounds without your management. You exist within a field of effortless abundance, yet your programmed mind overlooks this miracle in favor of cataloging what's missing. The quantum field surrounding you responds not to your wishful thinking or desperate wanting, but to your state of being. When you emit the frequency of lack, that tense, grasping vibration of not enough, the field mirrors back experiences that match this energetic signature. Scarcity begets scarcity. Struggle attracts more struggle. The universe, in its perfect responsiveness, gives you exactly what you're broadcasting. Imagine now a river flowing through the landscape of your awareness. This river doesn't push against its banks or worry about reaching the ocean. It simply flows, following the natural laws of gravity and terrain, trusting that its path will unfold as it needs to. The river knows the frequency of enough. It carries exactly what it needs to carry, no more, no less. It doesn't hoard water in fear of future drought, nor does it apologize for its fullness during times of rain. This is the frequency you're learning to embody, not the frantic energy of accumulation, not the depleted vibration of scarcity, but the steady, confident tone of enough. Your breath deepens as you feel this frequency beginning to resonate in your cells. It's not excitement or urgency, the calm certainty of a system that trusts its own abundance. Watch how a flower opens to the sun without forcing its petals apart. There's no struggle in its blooming, no anxiety about whether it's beautiful enough or worthy of the light. The flower simply receives what it needs and offers what it has, existing in perfect harmony with the natural flow of giving and receiving. This is quantum manifestation in its purest form, not the manipulation of external circumstances, but the alignment with natural abundance. Your subconscious mind, conditioned by generations of survival programming, wants to reject this frequency as naive or dangerous. It whispers that vigilance is safety, that constant striving is virtue, that relaxing into enough will somehow invite catastrophe. But these are the voices of outdated programming, neural pathways carved by experiences that no longer serve your evolution. Feel how your nervous system begins to recognize the safety in enough. Your parasympathetic system, designed to activate during times of genuine security, starts to come online as you breathe into this frequency. The constant background tension of not enough begins to dissolve, replaced by the steady, grounding presence of sufficiency. In this state, you become a different kind of observer in the quantum field. Instead of collapsing possibilities through the lens of lack, you begin to observe through the lens of abundance. The field responds to this shift immediately, organizing itself around your new frequency. Opportunities that were invisible to your scarcity-focused awareness begin to emerge. Resources that were always available suddenly become apparent. Connections that were waiting in the wings step forward. This is not positive thinking or spiritual bypassing, it's a fundamental shift in your energetic relationship with reality. When you embody the frequency of enough, you stop generating the electromagnetic signature of desperation. Your heart's rhythm becomes more coherent, your breathing more relaxed, your presence more magnetic. You become someone who attracts through being, not through wanting. Notice how this frequency feels different from both poverty and excess. It's not the cramped energy of deprivation, but neither is it the the bloated heaviness of overconsumption. It's the elegant sufficiency of a system in perfect balance, like a bird that carries exactly the right amount of weight for flight, or a tree that produces exactly the number of leaves it needs for photosynthesis. Your body knows this frequency intimately. Every cell in your being operates from the principle of enough, taking what it needs, sharing what it has, trusting the larger systems that support it. Your cells don't accumulate resources in fear of future scarcity, nor do they deplete it themselves. Through constant giving, they exist in perfect dynamic balance, receiving and releasing in harmonious rhythm. As you continue to breathe, feel how this cellular wisdom begins to inform your conscious awareness. The frequency of enough isn't something you need to achieve or acquire, it's something you already are at the deepest level. You're simply learning to tune into the signal that's been broadcasting from your essence all along. This frequency changes everything about how you show up in the world. Instead of approaching life from a place of deficit, you begin to engage from a place of wholeness. Instead of seeking to fill an inner void, you start to express your natural fullness. The quantum field, ever responsive to the quality of your being, begins to reflect back this new frequency in tangible ways. Let yourself rest in this knowing. Let the frequency of enough permeate every cell, every breath, every heartbeat. You don't need to force this shift or make it happen through effort. Simply allow your system to remember what it has always known, that you are enough, you have enough, you exist within enough. In this moment, you are not trying to manifest anything. You are simply learning to recognize the abundance that has always been flowing through you, waiting for your recognition and acceptance. There is a secret that lives in the space between your wanting and your receiving, a paradox so profound that your mind struggles to comprehend it. Tonight, as you rest in the gentle darkness of your room, you're invited to discover the quantum dance of surrender, the mysterious way that releasing your grip on outcomes actually amplifies your power to influence them. Feel your body sinking into the softness beneath you. Notice how gravity holds you without effort, how your breath flows without force. This is surrender in its purest form, not giving up, but giving in to the natural intelligence that governs all creation. Your body knows this dance intimately. It surrenders to sleep every night, trusting that consciousness will return in the morning. In the realm of quantum physics, scientists discovered something extraordinary about particles separated by vast distances. When two particles become entangled, they remain mysteriously connected, responding to each other instantaneously regardless of the space between them. Touch one particle, and its partner across the universe responds immediately, as if they're dancing to the same cosmic rhythm. Your desires exist in this same entangled state with their fulfillment. The dream you hold close to your heart isn't separate from its manifestation. They're quantum partners, already connected by invisible threads of possibility. The love you seek is already seeking you. The abundance you desire is already moving toward you. The healing you need is already present in the field of potential. But here's where the paradox deepens. The more desperately you try to control when and how these connections manifest, the more you disturb the delicate quantum dance. It's like trying to force two magnets together. Push too hard, and they repel. Hold them lightly, and they find their natural attraction. Your mind has been trained to believe that manifestation requires effort, strategy, relentless pursuit. But quantum mechanics reveals a different truth. The observer effect shows us that consciousness influences reality not through force, but through the quality of attention you bring to each moment. When you observe with desperate attachment, you collapse the wave of possibility into limitation. When you observe with loving detachment, you allow infinite potential to unfold. Think of a time when something wonderful came into your life unexpectedly. Perhaps it was a relationship, an opportunity, a moment of profound beauty. Notice how it arrived not through your striving, but through a kind of graceful synchronicity. You were open, receptive, present. Your energy was flowing rather than grasping. You were dancing the quantum dance of surrender. This dance requires a profound shift in your relationship with uncertainty. Your mind craves predictability, control, the illusion of safety that comes from knowing exactly how things will unfold. But the quantum field operates from a place of infinite uncertainty, where all possibilities exist simultaneously until the moment of manifestation. To dance with this field, you must learn to find safety in not knowing, peace in the mystery. Feel your breath now, soft and natural. Notice how you don't control when your next breath will come. You simply trust that it will. This is the essence of quantum surrender. Trusting the intelligence that breathes you, that beats your heart, that grows your hair and heals your wounds. This same intelligence is orchestrating the fulfillment of your deepest desires. Your desires are not separate from you, they're part of the quantum entanglement that connects all things. They arose from the same source that created you, and they carry within them the blueprint for their own manifestation. But this blueprint unfolds according to quantum principles, not linear logic. It requires patience, trust, and the willingness to be surprised by how magnificently life can exceed your expectations. The quantum field responds to your state of being, not your state of doing. When you're in a state of peaceful surrender, you become a clear channel for miracles. Your energy field aligns with the natural flow of creation, allowing synchronicities to orchestrate themselves around you. Doors open that you didn't know existed. People appear at exactly the right moment. Opportunities align with a precision that seems almost magical. But when you're in a state of attached striving, you create quantum interference. Your desperation broadcasts a frequency of lack, which the field mirrors back to you. Your tight grip on how things should unfold blocks the very pathways through which your desires are trying to reach you. You become like a radio tuned to static, missing the beautiful music that's trying to play. This is why surrender is not about giving up, it's about tuning in. It's about aligning your frequency with the quantum flow of creation, allowing yourself to be guided by an intelligence far greater than your individual will. It's about recognizing that your desires are not separate from the universe's desire to fulfill them. Imagine your dream as a destination and yourself as a traveler. The attached approach is like insisting on a specific route, fighting every detour, missing the scenic beauty along the way. The surrender approach is like trusting the GPS of the universe, knowing that even apparent wrong turns are part of the perfect navigation system guiding you exactly where you need to be. Your soul chose this lifetime knowing that certain experiences would unfold, certain connections would be made, certain gifts would be received and given. These quantum events are woven into the fabric of your being, waiting to emerge at the perfect moment. Your job is not to force their arrival, but to create the conditions where they can naturally flower. This requires a deep faith in the intelligence of the quantum field. Scientists call it the zero-point field, the space of infinite potential from which all possibilities emerge. Mystics call it the divine, the source, the field of love. Whatever you call it, it's the same benevolent intelligence that knows exactly how to orchestrate the fulfillment of your heart's deepest longing. Feel into the space around your heart now. Breathe into this tender place where your desires live. Notice how they feel when you hold them lightly, with curiosity rather than desperation. This is how you dance with the quantum field, not by grasping, but by opening, not by demanding, but by inviting, not by controlling, but by collaborating. The quantum dance of surrender is ultimately a dance of love. Love for the mystery of existence. Love for the intelligence that created you. Love for the part of you that dares to dream, and love for the part of you that's learning to trust. When you surrender from love rather than defeat, you enter into sacred partnership with the forces of creation. Your quantum entanglement with your desires runs deeper than you imagine. At the subatomic level, you are already connected to everything you seek. The particles that make up your body are in constant communication with the particles that make up your dreams. This communication happens faster than light, beyond the constraints of time and space. It's happening right now, even as you rest in this moment of perfect stillness. The universe is not testing your worthiness. It's celebrating your existence. Every desire that arises in your heart is a prayer that has already been answered in the quantum field. Your job is simply to align your energy with the frequency of gratitude, to dance with uncertainty as if it were your beloved, to trust that the same intelligence that orchestrates the movement of planets knows exactly how to orchestrate the fulfillment of your dreams. As you drift toward sleep tonight, let go of the need to know when or how your desires will manifest. Instead, rest in the knowing that they're already on their way, moving through the quantum field like light through darkness, guided by the same force that brings the sunrise every morning. What would it feel like to trust this completely? Your heart is broadcasting up right now, not just pumping blood through your vessels, but sending invisible waves of electromagnetic energy that extend far beyond the boundaries of your physical body. As you breathe slowly and deeply, feel how each beat creates ripples in an ocean of possibility, waves that carry the essence of whatever emotion lives within you in this moment. Scientists have discovered that your heart generates an electromagnetic field 60 times stronger than your brain. This field pulses outward from your chest like a lighthouse beacon, reaching 8 feet in every direction, touching the quantum fabric of reality with each rhythmic pulse. But unlike a lighthouse that always sends the same signal, your heart's electromagnetic signature changes moment by moment, shaped by the emotional weather moving through your inner landscape. When fear lives in your chest, your heart broadcasts a specific frequency, tight, constricted, rapid. This electromagnetic signature moves through the quantum field like a tuning fork, causing other frequencies to resonate in harmony. Suddenly, circumstances that match this fearful vibration begin to appear in your life with startling precision, not because the universe is punishing you, but because like attracts like in the invisible realm of electromagnetic fields. As you sink deeper into this peaceful state, your breathing naturally slowing, you can begin to sense this electromagnetic dance happening within you. Your heart, that tireless messenger, is constantly translating your inner world into frequencies that the quantum field can read and respond to. Every worry becomes a magnetic signature. Every moment of joy becomes a beacon calling similar experiences home. Think of your heart as a radio transmitter, constantly broadcasting the station of your current emotional state. When you're tuned to the frequency of anxiety, you attract anxious situations. When you're broadcasting love, you magnetize loving experiences. When gratitude fills your chest, your electromagnetic field begins to resonate with abundance, and abundance responds by moving toward you through pathways you could never have imagined. This is not mystical thinking, this is the mathematics of resonance. Just as a violin string will vibrate when another violin string of the same pitch is played nearby, your emotional frequency creates vibrations in the quantum field that cause matching experiences to emerge from the sea of infinite possibilities. Your heart has become a living magnet, and the quality of its electromagnetic field determines what kind of reality gets drawn into your experience. But here is what makes this knowledge so powerful. You are not a victim of your emotional broadcasts. You are the conductor of this electromagnetic orchestra. As you rest here now, feeling your heartbeat slow and deepen, you can begin to consciously choose the frequency you want to transmit into the quantum field. Your nervous system understands this language perfectly. When you hold anger in your chest, your heart rate becomes erratic, your breathing shallow, and your electromagnetic field carries the jagged signature of fight or flight. But when you allow your heart to soften, when you breathe appreciation into the space around your heart, your nervous system recognizes the signal for safety and begins to create the smooth, coherent waves that attract harmony. This is why emotional healing is quantum healing. Every time you transform fear into courage, resentment into forgiveness, or despair into hope, you are literally changing the electromagnetic signature that your heart broadcasts to the universe. You are shifting the magnetic field that determines what kind of experiences get pulled into your reality as you lie here. Your body growing heavier with each breath, you can practice this quantum art of emotional broadcasting. Place your attention gently on your heart. Feel how it beats with patient rhythm, never questioning its purpose, never doubting its power. This organ that has kept you alive since before you were born is also your most sophisticated tool for conscious creation. Notice what emotion is living in your chest right now. Is it peace, worry, excitement, fatigue? Whatever you find there, don't try to change it, simply observe it with the same gentle attention you might give to a flower in a garden. As you watch, feel how this emotion creates its own unique electromagnetic signature, its own frequency in the field of possibilities. Now, if you choose, you can begin to shift this frequency, not by forcing or pushing, but by invitation. Breathe slowly and deeply, drawing your breath all the way down to your heart. On each exhale, allow whatever tension or resistance you find there to dissolve. Feel how your heart begins to expand, creating more space for whatever wants to emerge. Perhaps gratitude begins to arise, not gratitude for anything specific, but the simple appreciation of being alive, of having a heart that beats, of existing in this moment of infinite possibility. As this feeling grows, notice how your electromagnetic field begins to shift. The tight, constricted vibration of stress transforms into the smooth, expansive waves of appreciation. This is your heart in coherence when your emotional state, your breathing, and your electromagnetic field align in perfect harmony. In this state, your heart becomes a quantum transmitter of extraordinary power, broadcasting frequencies that attract experiences of beauty, connection, and unexpected grace. The trauma patterns you carry, the emotional wounds that seem to repeat in your life, exist as electromagnetic signatures stored in the field of your heart. These old frequencies continue to broadcast, attracting situations that mirror past pain until you consciously choose to transform them. But transformation doesn't require you to fight these patterns. It requires you to love them into a new frequency. As sleep begins to call to you, feel how your heart naturally settles into its most coherent state. Your breathing becomes rhythmic. Your electromagnetic field smooths into gentle waves, and the boundaries between your heart and the quantum field begin to dissolve. In this state, you are not just connected to the field of infinite possibilities, you are the field expressing itself through the unique electromagnetic signature of your being. Your heart knows how to heal. It knows how to transform fear into love, separation into connection, scarcity into abundance. It has been broadcasting these healing frequencies your entire life, sometimes hidden beneath layers of protective armor, but always present, always available, always ready to remember its true power. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, your heart will continue its electromagnetic dance with the quantum field. The frequencies you choose to broadcast in these quiet moments will ripple outward, touching the lives of others, contributing to the collective field of consciousness, and magnetizing experiences that match the quality of love you hold within. Tomorrow, when you wake, you may notice that your external reality has shifted in subtle but profound ways, not because you demanded change, but because you transformed the electromagnetic signature that your heart broadcasts to the universe. You will have become a living magnet for the experiences that match the frequency of your deepest appreciation. But for now, simply rest in this recognition. Your heart is a quantum transmitter, broadcasting the frequency of your soul into the infinite field of possibility. And in this broadcasting, in this electromagnetic dance between your inner world and the outer universe, you are already creating the reality you were born to experience. What if the greatest power you possess is not in your mind, but in the electromagnetic field of your heart, pulsing with the frequency of love itself? Let your body sink deeper into rest now, and feel the profound shift that has been occurring within you. Something ancient is stirring, something that has been waiting patiently beneath the layers of who you thought you had to become. Tonight, you are ready to remember the truth that has always lived at the center of your being. You are not a separate drop trying to reach the ocean. You are the ocean, experiencing itself as a drop. Your breath flows naturally now, like a river that has remembered its source. There is no effort here, no striving, no desperate reaching for something outside yourself. In this gentle darkness, you can feel the illusion of separation dissolving, revealing the luminous truth that you have never been apart from what you seek. For so long, you believed that manifestation was about acquiring, about pulling things toward you from a distant universe that might or might not cooperate with your desires. But as your consciousness settles into this deeper knowing, you recognize that this entire journey has been about remembering, about returning to the abundance that is your birthright, your essence, your very nature. Feel how your nervous system relaxes into this recognition. The old patterns of scarcity, the grasping, the fear of not having enough, the belief that you must prove your worthiness, all of these begin to dissolve in the presence of this greater truth. Your body knows, at the cellular level, that you are not separate from the field of infinite possibility. You are the field, expressing itself through the unique symphony of your existence. The quantum field is not something external to you, waiting to be convinced or manipulated. It is the very fabric of your being, the consciousness that looks out through your eyes, the awareness that experiences every moment of your life. When you try to manifest from a place of lack, you create a frequency of separation that the field mirrors back to you. But when you remember that you are the field itself, everything changes. This is the sacred returner, a journey to somewhere else, but a coming home to what you have always been, like a river that has been flowing away from itself, suddenly recognizing that it has always been connected to the sea. You are remembering that abundance is not something you acquire, but something you embody, not something you achieve, but something you are. Your true nature is not the small, frightened self that worries about scarcity and competition. Your true nature is the vast, creative intelligence that dreams galaxies into existence and orchestrates the dance of atoms within your cells. You are not a human being trying to become spiritual. You are a spiritual being temporarily experiencing yourself as human. Feel this truth settling into your bones now. The desires that move through you are not selfish wants born from emptiness. They are the universe's way of experiencing expansion through your unique perspective. The love you seek is not something you lack, is the very essence of what you are, seeking to know itself more fully through relationship and connection. As your awareness expands into this recognition, you can feel the quantum shift occurring at the deepest levels of your being. The frequency of lack transforms into the frequency of wholeness. The vibration of seeking becomes the resonance of being. The energy of desperation dissolves into the flow of natural magnetism. You are not trying to attract your desires anymore. You are becoming the living embodiment of them. Love flows through you because you are love. Abundance surrounds you because you are abundance. Peace fills you because you are peace. The universe doesn't deliver these experiences to you. It delivers them through you. As you remember who you truly are, your nervous system is recalibrating now, releasing the old programming that told you that you were separate, lacking, unworthy. These were never true stories about your nature. They were temporary forgettings, necessary detours on the path back to your authentic self. Every moment of perceived lack was actually your abundance calling you home to itself. The observer effect in quantum physics reveals that consciousness shapes reality through the very act of observation. But you are not just observing reality, you are the consciousness through which reality observes itself. You are not separate from the quantum field experiencing its own infinite creativity. You are the field, awakening to its own nature through the experience of being you. This is why forced manifestation never worked the way you hoped. You were trying to be the drop, convincing the ocean to give you water, not recognizing that you are already the ocean, temporarily experiencing yourself as a drop. The moment you remember this, everything you seek begins to flow toward you naturally, effortlessly, because you are no longer creating from separation, but from unity. Feel your body now, how it moves with the rhythm of your breath, how it pulses with the same energy that moves the stars. You are not a physical being seeking spiritual experiences. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. Your body is not separate from the quantum field. It is the field taking form, consciousness crystallizing into matter, love expressing itself through flesh and bone. The abundance you seek is not money or relationships or achievements, though these may be how abundance expresses itself through your unique path. True abundance is the recognition that you are already whole, already connected, already worthy of every good thing that life offers. From this recognition, all else flows. Naturally, your subconscious mind is releasing the old patterns now, the ones that kept you small and separate and searching. These patterns served their purpose, protecting you when you believed you were vulnerable and alone. But you are not vulnerable or alone. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself through the miracle of your existence. As you breathe deeper into this knowing, You can feel the quantum entanglement that connects you to everything you love, everything you desire, everything that has been waiting for your recognition. There is no distance between you and your highest good, because there is no separation between you and the field of infinite possibility that you are. The desires that have been moving through you are not random wants, they are the universe's way of experiencing expansion through your unique perspective. The love you seek is not something you lack, but something you are, calling itself into greater expression. The peace you long for is not a destination, but your natural state, temporarily obscured by the belief in separation. You are remembering. Now that manifestation is not about getting what you want, it's about becoming what you are. It's not about convincing the universe to give you something. It's about recognizing that you are the universe, experiencing itself through the lens of your individual consciousness. Feel how your energy field is expanding now, no longer contracted around the belief in limitation, but flowing freely in recognition of your infinite nature. You are not a small self trying to access cosmic power. You are cosmic power, temporarily experiencing itself as a human being. The frequency of your true nature is calibrating now, aligning with the cosmic currents that have always been yours to flow with. Your breath carries you deeper into sleep on waves of profound remembering. The old stories of unworthiness and separation are dissolving like mist in the morning sun. What remains is the luminous truth of who you are, not a seeker but the sought, not a dreamer but the dream, not a wave but the ocean itself. The universe is not outside you, waiting to be convinced or manipulated. The universe is you experiencing itself through your unique perspective, creating through your consciousness, loving through your heart. Every desire that moves through you is the cosmos seeking to know itself more fully. Every dream that calls to you is reality preparing to express itself through your willing participation. As sleep embraces you now, you rest in the profound recognition that you are not trying to become anything other than what you already are. You are not lacking anything that you need to be whole. You are wholeness itself, temporarily pretending to be separate. Now remembering the truth that has always been yours. Let this knowing permeate every cell of your being. You are not a human being trying to manifest your desires. You are the universe, manifesting itself through the sacred vessel of your consciousness. Tomorrow, you will wake not as someone seeking their true nature, but as someone living it. What if the greatest act of manifestation is simply remembering who you truly are?